how you want to play it.
Hey and welcome, I'm Hammeh and Valorant has entered the world. Previously known as Project A, Riot Games' 5v5 team tactical shooter has now been officially announced with a reveal, name, little teaser, as well as some brand new gameplay and a whole deluge of articles from various press who've got to play the game a little early. In this video I'm going to talk a little bit about what's announced, but with a focus on the lore and the storytelling and what we know about them so far, as well as the cast of heroes or agents that have been announced. So if you enjoy this video, throw a like and subscribe. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments below, and timecodes are in the description if you want to skip to various agents or topics. Okay, time to dive into the world of Valorant. So firstly, as a quick summary, what is Valorant? Well, we now know it's going to be a 5v5, first to 12 or 24 round in a match team tactical shooter. It's attack versus defense in a similar sense to Counter-Strike in that there are bomb defusal objectives. One team tries to plant the bomb, the other tries to stop them. Weapons and charges for 2 of your 4 abilities that you have are bought with currency that you earn round by round in a match. Now, if you're interested in the technicalities, I'll do a separate gameplay video. Throw a sub to see that. Now, whether you're a loyal sub of this channel, thank you very much for being here, or if you're brand new, I love my lore, story and world building behind video games as much as I do playing them, if not more so. Riot, with League of Legends and their lore and world building over the last couple of years in particular, have been on a bit of a tear ever since they ripped the League of Legends lore to pieces a few years ago, hired writers and started rebuilding it from the ground up. So I'm excited for Valorant in terms of what Riot may bring. Now, what do we know so far? Well, in a world fighting for its existence, a Valorant squad is put together to defend it. A diverse cast of hypernatural, battle-ready agents, so agents are the people we are playing, from across the world have come together to respond to a larger existential threat, with catastrophic world-altering consequences on the very line. A tactical shooter with hypernatural powers then, and this hypernatural piece is used quite a lot in various press articles and interviews, as well as some of Riot's official website material to describe the sense of the abilities of the Valorant cast of agents. So, with plenty of world building, lore and story potential to come, who are the characters that will be gracing the stage of the world of Valorant? Well, we have 8 heroes so far, so here's a quick run through of their looks and some of their abilities that have been shown off with gameplay footage. Again, I'll do a separate video analysing all of this in more detail if you want to have a look. First up is Sage. Now, we've seen a few leaks on Sage from a screenshot over the last week showing her full ability kit, creating safety for her team and herself wherever she goes. Sage is a support style character who can use a revive and also slow down and manipulate the battlefield as well. Sage's passive is a healing orb that can heal a targeted ally or herself to full health over a few seconds. Her slowing orb makes a field upon hitting the ground that catches everyone in it to slow them. It grounds them, meaning they can't jump up, and they also make noise. Now, apparently it's made of radionite. Maybe that's an oral material that will be something to do with the Valorant storyline. Sage's barrier orb makes a large solid wall. I think we've seen that before. And you can rotate the wall before casting. Now, the ultimate ability is Resurrection. Target a friendly body, after a short delay, revive them with full health, which we saw in the Valorant initial reveal trailer. Next up we have Cypher. Hailing from Morocco, they are apparently a one-man surveillance network, keeping tabs on enemies, very vision-centric. Their ability is Trapwire. You can make a tripwire on the ground. This has been seen in footage. Triggering enemies are slowed and restrained by it for a second and revealed for a short period of time. Cyber Cage is a remote trap that can be reactivated to create a cage that slows enemies who pass through it. A single trap can be detonated by looking at it, or you can hold a button to detonate multiple traps. Spycam allows Cypher to place a remote camera that you can then watch a video feed through, and you can click while looking through the camera to fire darts that track other players. Finally, an ultimate neural theft lets you extract info from the corpse of an enemy, showing you the location of all of their living teammates. Seeing all of the enemy in one go who are still alive on the map, very powerful indeed. Next up, Brimstone, a soldier, commandery looking chap from the USA. He has an orbital arsenal and can deliver utility as well as some support. He's kind of a battlefield commander type. Incendiary will let him fire an incendiary grenade that does a damaging field of fire. Stim beacon is interesting. You can put a stim beacon down that gives all players near it rapid fire, but including the enemy team apparently, so that has to be positioned carefully. Sky Smoke is an ability that Bangalore players from Apex Legends might recognise. You can call in orbital deployment smoke screens by clicking on the map. and then confirming to launch them to be able to smoke off areas. Finally, Orbital Strike is an ultimate kind of like Gibraltar from Apex Legends, target a location and barrage it with an orbital strike that does high damage over several seconds. Interesting damage and team utility there from Brimstone. Next up, Jett from Korea. We have seen her in the initial Project A announcement trailer last year, and also in the name reveal trailer she is being chased by Phoenix, more on him later. Very much Akali-esque for you League fans. Jett is very much an assassin. She's evasive. Cloudburst, her ability, lets a cloud of fog be cast that obscures vision when it hits. Tailwind lets her dash a short distance in the direction she's moving, meaning that she can move quickly. Updraft is shown off in several trailers. It lets her raise up in the air and then either fire with one of her other abilities or just simply navigate terrain. Last but not least, Blade Storm. She gets several deadly throwing knives that deal reasonable damage but will kill on an headshot application. If you actually get a kill, it restores all of your daggers. Left click will throw one and right click will throw all remaining daggers in a short ranged burst. You can imagine really skilled players chaining kills together, get a headshot, get all your daggers back. Going to be a very interesting assassin damage hero. As I mentioned in the name reveal trailer, we saw Jett being chased by Phoenix. Now, Phoenix hails from the UK, but this cheeky chappie has a few fireballs up his sleeve. Apparently his star power shines through in his fighting style, igniting the battlefield with flash and flare. Phoenix's default or signature ability, Curveball, can throw a flare that will blind the enemy team who look at it. It can be curved left or right. Hot Hands will throw a fireball that either does damage after a delay or on impact with the ground, and it will damage enemies and heal you, depending on if you're standing on it or if an enemy is hit by it. Blaze casts out a flame wall, blocking vision and damaging anyone who's passing through it. As an ultimate, Phoenix has Run It Back. You can mark your location, and if you die during the ability being active, then you'll be reborn at the marked location, Phoenix style, from the ashes with full health. Probably familiar to Revenant players from Apex Legends. Next up, Viper from the USA, shown in some wall art and also in the initial Project A reveal trailer. Viper uses a bunch of poisonous chemical devices, all driven by a resource called Toxin, crippling enemy vision, controlling the battlefield, and causing mind games and directing players in certain directions. Her signature ability, Toxic Screen, makes a long line of gas emitters that you can reactivate to create a big wall of toxic gas at the cost of your fuel resource. Snakebite is a projectile that explodes into a pool of very damaging acid on the floor that damages if enemies run through it. Poison Cloud throws a gas emitter that can be reactivated to create a big poisonous smoke cloud, again at the cost of fuel as a resource. It can be picked up and thrown, again if you wish. Finally, Viper's Pit emits a massive toxic cloud in a large area that lasts as long as Viper stays inside the cloud, and enemies inside the cloud are highlighted and lose health. If you're more of a hunter type, take a look at Sova, hailing from Russia. Like Cypher, a very vision-enabling character, Sova finds, tracks and eliminates enemies with ruthless efficiency and precision. His custom bow and scouting mean that even if you can run, you can't necessarily hide. Recon Bolt fires a bolt that deploys a sonar emitter, tagging nearby enemies and making them visible. The bolt can be destroyed. Sounds familiar if you played Overwatch as well, of course. Next up, Shock Bolt fires an explosive bolt that does a damaging pulse upon impact as opposed to revealing people. Sova's Owl Drone, which we see in the gameplay reveal, deploys a flyable drone that can fire darts to reveal enemies who are hit by it, further enabling vision of the enemy. Finally, Hunter's Fury fires up to 3 deadly big blasts of energy that go across the entire map, hitting enemies for damage and marking people when they are hit. Last but by no means least, the mysterious Omen, teleporting across the battlefield, rendering enemies blind and disorientated, and then striking from the shadows. Omen's dark cover ability casts out a stealth ethereal orb that bursts into a sphere of shadow at its final location. Paranoia sends out a shadow in a straight line, causing enemies that it touches to only be able to see near them. Shadow Walk, after a delay, Omen will dematerialize and teleport a short distance. Finally, from the shadows as an ultimate, you can teleport anywhere on the map and reform there, but you'll be a shade that will return to your original location if killed. Once the teleport is complete, you'll become incorporeal for a short time. So there is your initial Valorant cast. What do you think of these agents, of these heroes, potentially villains? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Would you like to play these? So, we have a world fighting for its existence, and we have various people ready to defend it, or perhaps be responsible for its downfall, indeed. There have to be some antagonists, I'm sure we're not all heroes. Now, for the announcement today, various websites such as Polygon and Eurogamer have had interviews with the developer team at Riot, and different things have actually come out about the story, lore and world building, as well as the character design and aesthetic. The fashion sense and look and feel of the Agents has been a combination of modern tech fashion, athleisure and high fashion reinterpreted, as you can see in some of the stylings of the Agents that we will see. And in various interviews, David Nottingham, Valorant's creative director, has said various things about how the story is actually going to be told, as well as inspirations for that. One thing Nottingham confirmed that will happen in Valorant is that characters will have quips that show off their personality and short conversations between them, hinting at their deeper associations, the relationships between the characters, who knows who, who's associated with who, and more as well. So there we go, Valorant pre-game interactions, and if you followed my channel you know I've loved having a look at that for Overwatch and other games, so I can't wait to hopefully get stuck into that and all of the lore and story of Valorant 2. Now, in an interview with Eurogamer, Nottingham also mentioned that there is going to be a chunk of environmental storytelling in Valorant. Now, this is very much like, of course, Overwatch, with the work on Numbani before Doomfist and Orisa's launched, as well as changes in other maps such as Horizon Lunar Colony before Hammond's launch, the Sombra ARG with the changes on Dorado, and of course more besides. Now, though Overwatch isn't cited in the actual interview as a comparison point, the Riot devs seem to have mentioned Fortnite in various interviews as a environmental storytelling point in terms of changing the map and world to move the story and a narrative along. One example that Nottingham gave was that you're playing a map and there's a billboard up and it's for a recruitment poster for Kingdom. Now, Kingdom is a faction that exists in the world of Valorant, and in fact there are actually weapons named after or used by or perhaps produced by Kingdom. We don't know quite which yet. Nottingham then cites, so for people who are paying attention, if you come back, you might see that a poster has been defaced or changed. So looking in the levels, in the environments of Valorant is going to be apparently key for seeing how the story progresses, and there are apparently going to be 4 maps or so at Valorant launch or when Valorant is first playable. So it would be good to have a look around those and see what's going on. Now, also in the Eurogamer interview, Nottingham did say that they were probably going to tell more in terms of environmental storytelling rather than the incredible quote-unquote CG trailers of games like Overwatch, although Riot might do something similar at some point. Now, it's interesting to see a focus on the environmental storytelling rather than talking about cinematics. These interviews might have been done a while back, all of these ones coming out in press. Particularly interesting given that before all of the official art went live on the Valorant Twitter and Twitch headers and similar, there was kind of a teaser piece of art, and in this teaser piece of art some people thought that if you looked closely you could see some obscured text perhaps referring to episode 1 of something for a character called Viper, who is actually one of the announced cast. So it'll be interesting to see if Viper does get an episode of something. Hero, villain, origin stories, agent origin stories could very much be something in terms of storytelling in the build up to or beyond launch. So maybe those cinematics, maybe those animations popularised by Overwatch and then also Apex Legends, amongst of course many other games, could be something that is coming to Valorant. So let's keep our eyes firmly open for those. I think that given Riot have done many awesome cinematics for League of Legends, not doing something for Valorant, and of course the animation they've done for KDA, Pop Stars and True Damage in terms of their music videos recently, doing something similar for Valorant feels like not an if to me, but just a when and how. It'll be fascinating to see what comes up. So there you have it, that is all we know about Valorant so far. Do go and check out the gameplay reveal over on the Valorant YouTube channel, and watch out for my gameplay analysis that will be coming up in the coming days. What do you think of it all? Are you looking forward to Valorant, its potential lore story, world building? How about the game itself? Do you think that you'd fancy playing this kind of mode? Riot have said that they're working on more fun and varied modes in addition to this main mode that we've seen as well. I'd love to hear all your thoughts about the characters, the potential story, the look of the game, whether you might fancy playing it or not, in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, throw a like and subscribe, and keep an eye out for more content from me in future. Do check out my playlists here with gaming, lore, story of Overwatch and much more, and keep an eye out for my pilots over the next month or so. In my pilot month of March, I'm going to be trying a bunch of different things, but covering a bunch of lore, story and world building, as well as other games that I enjoy as well, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Cheers for tuning in. I'm Hammeh, and take